Here in Alaska, you've always got to be mindful that temperatures and things can change in an instant, and you can get in trouble in a hurry.
It's all swamp. It's a lot of areas that you can't get to very easily.
We don't have, neighboring states, to rely on. It's just us.
From your job to these outdoor adventures, you always have to be thinking of that next step ahead and being prepared. I have a real passion for snowshoeing. I've done it my whole life. I love being out there. I love riding. When you're out there and you're watching a sunrise coming up as you're running along Norton Bay, there's not a whole lot like it. The reason I'm into snow machining was my father, my family. Now I want to share that with, my two boys and let them really grow up and get to have their own experiences and offer some guidance to getting them there, but ultimately let them make Alaska theirs. Everything that I've been afforded the opportunity to doing to my job has allowed me to do that. Working in the IBEW 1547 has 100% shaped me, as I said, with growing up into it as second generation, it molds you into the person that you are.
So I think what makes Local 1547 a unique local to work for is because we are one local in this state through the IBEW. So with 4 unit offices, one here in Anchorage being our biggest, and then one in Fairbanks, Juneau, and Ketchikan, we cover almost every classification the IBEW covers: construction, utilities, maintenance, cities, boroughs, and within that we have linemen, electrician, communication workers, engineers, clerical, hospital workers, and we have contracts throughout the state. So with 75 total agreements covering those disciplines and throughout utilities and construction, it makes us a diverse group. You're working off the road system here in Alaska a lot. You have a limited road system. You're doing a lot of travel by air or boat. And so when you get out to some of these remote job sites, you're required to get the job done with limited supplies sometimes and limited manpower. And so having somebody that can do all aspects of a job like that, it makes all the difference.
It's important that we're prepared. From everything from having our warm layers to extra extra dry clothes, food in case we get stuck out there. We could get snowed in, or equipment could break down. We're 30 miles from town, no way to communicate in town. A lot of these guys here, truck broke down and can figure out how to get it going, or, when we run equipment, we're able to plow ourselves out if we need to. Brotherhood's very tight-knit. Some of these guys, I've spent 6 months in villages with them, living in a small roof. So, if you're not close friends, it's not gonna last. It's a challenge, every day's different. I love it.
We do it all. We do electrical, we do lighting, we do fire alarm, security, cameras, access control. And so it's important, to know everything, because to hire an outside company to come from the lower 48 to do something, it's expensive and it's time consuming and can really set a job back. We know that we are top notch across the nation. We've had guys travel outside of Alaska that immediately become foremen, and they get as much work as they want because they're so self-sufficient and such good hard workers that it shines whenever we travel. It brings up the union as a whole.
Yeah, just go up and see, pull it off that bug on the left side there, see if you can snug the wire up, and then make sure those spacers are tightened up.
Safety is key to us here at Local 1547, just like it is within the IBEW, due to some of the rural areas that we're traveling into. So training for us at our apprenticeship school is second to none. We feel it's the gold standard.
Our apprenticeship school provides training in 3 main programs and additionally a smaller line clearance tree trimmer program. Our main programs are inside wireman, outside lineman, and telecommunications. We cover over 500,000 square miles of area. So we've actually got a training center here in Anchorage and one in Fairbanks, and between the two of us, we cover all of those apprentices. One of the really neat things about this apprenticeship school is because our programs individually are relatively small, they're also very nimble. So if we come up with new ideas, if there are new technologies being developed, our instructors are empowered to take that step and look into it and suggest ideas, and we can develop new programs relatively quickly. So as far as the drones, a lot of times with line inspections, you end up using a helicopter. a drone is just a really simple answer to that. So to be able to get our line apprentices certified in that so that they can be useful to the contractors and the utilities that they'll eventually work for adds value to the contractors and the utilities, and it allows us to do something for much, much cheaper. Our apprentices, being Alaskans to begin with, are pretty well prepared for being in tough conditions and being in remote conditions, but preparing people for the psychological aspects of the trade is built into everything our instructors do. So the teamwork, the self-reliance, the self-responsibility, and the taking pride in your work is something that is baked into our curriculum and into our classroom structure, and understanding that aspect of it is something that really prepares them to be not just amazing in their trade, but I mean, those are life experiences that make them successful in any environment.
When you see the dirt in the fingernails and somebody out there working hard, willing to do anything to get the job done, that's what Alaskans, I think, understand, is that you're out in an area sometimes where you might not have help coming, where you're going to have to take what you have, work together, figure out the best way to get it done, and our members do that, and so do members of this community.